Hey everybody, Chris Bassett here, and in this video, I'll be replacing the front brake caliper on a 2009 Pontiac G6. Let's get into it. All right, let's get this G6 in the air. Make sure you're parked on a level surface. Then you want to loosen the lug nuts while the wheel's on the ground, and then jack up the front end, secure it on jack stands, and remove the wheel. Here's the location for the jack and jack stands that I placed, making sure that everything's solid. All right, let's remove the old caliper. You should locate the two caliper guide pin bolts. They're 14 millimeter. So you'll have one right here on the top, maybe slightly rusted, and then one on the bottom right here. You may want to use penetrating oil and let it soak. That way the rusty bolts would break free. Now the caliper should slide off. If it's stuck, beat on it with a hammer. Once the caliper's off, go ahead and support it up top. That way it doesn't hang by the brake line. Next, we're going to want to remove the 15 millimeter bracket bolts. Here is the one on the bottom location, and then there is the top one. So go ahead and crack those loose. That way you can take off that bracket. You can then remove the caliper bracket and brake pads and set them to the side. Let's do a little prep work for the installation of the new brake caliper. We're going to take this banjo bolt loose, which is an 11 millimeter, and then we're also going to break free the bracket from the caliper on the new part. So take both of these bolts loose, and these caliper guide bolts are 14 millimeter. So you may consider placing a catch pan underneath because fluid will come out of the caliper, but we're going to loosen up that banjo bolt with the 11 millimeter. And then here I'm breaking free the caliper bolts on the new caliper, 14 millimeter. I did have to put a pipe on the end to get some leverage. It's out on my picnic table, but you just take it, apply it, and break those free. That way you can separate the caliper into two pieces. For the new caliper, you're going to want to lubricate any contact points, the new slider pins, generously with brake grease. So anywhere these clips would snap in, apply a little bit of grease to prevent rust. And then it's also recommended to grease inside the pins, which mine were pre-greased, so I won't be doing that. But you could just pull the pins completely out, grease them, and then place them back in the exact same spot. Don't mix them up. This is also a great time to clean everything with brake cleaner, the bracket, the knuckle, the rotor surface. Check the rotor for grooves, and replace the brake pads and rotors if needed. So let's start reassembly. You can put the rotor on first, and then the caliper bracket on. You can see the two holes there. So we'll have the rotor on, and then the caliper will go on, just like this. This is the correct orientation. If you're going for specs, the 15 millimeter bracket bolts that hold the bracket on should be torqued to 96 foot-pounds. All right, so the bracket's on, the clips are in. The next step would be to install the new brake pads. I've got the old brake pads here on the floor. I can show you. They're pretty tore up. So I bought some new brake pads and just going to snap those in. They just slide into the clips. Make sure that you have everything set the correct orientation. You can kind of see that the new brake pads have a slight curve to them, so that curves with the rotor. The brake pad installation came with grease. So here, if you zoom in, you can see the contact points between the clips and the brakes require a little bit of grease, like right there in the corners, on the front and the back. But here, let's grab this brake pad. You can see it kind of curves with the rotor, and then you just push it down into the clips. It'll just snap in there. Same with the reverse. Make sure it's going the correct direction, and you will put brake pad on the front and the back. On the new caliper, let's remove this plastic plug, and then you can see you have two copper washers. So make sure you save those. Those copper washers are going to go on your banjo bolt. So let's set the caliper up next to the rotor, and you can see this is the orientation it will sit at. The brake line's pretty inflexible, so you want to make sure that everything's oriented correctly before you apply the brake line, but that'll be how the new one sits on there. All right, so we're going to put the new caliper on. I'm just showing here that there are flat sides to the connection there, so you have to make sure that you line up the flat with the other flat, because those can rotate. The pins, I don't know if that's a washer, it can rotate and cause a little bit of issues, so make sure that the flat sides line up properly. So I'm getting ready to remove the banjo bolt. Keep in mind there will be a little bit of fluid leakage, so get things prepped, but the banjo bolt will come out, and there's the reinstallation for the line. There is another flat side, so when you do pull the line off, it does need to line up properly with the flat edge against both the new and the old parts. Here's the banjo bolt. I'm showing the orientation. So those copper washers that come with the new one, you will have a copper crush washer on the bolt head side, and then the brake line, and then the second copper washer. So the brake line needs to go in between the two. It's designed to, as you torque it down, crush those copper washers and prevent leaks. Usually a new brake caliper kit comes with a new banjo bolt. This one did not, so I'll be reusing the old one. So as I said before, maybe place a catch pan underneath if you're leaking, because this brake fluid is corrosive. But there is the brake line. You can see how it's kind of squared off. So you'll need to line up the square sides. Make sure you remove any old copper washers from the banjo bolt. I just took a pair of pliers and pulled the old washers off before installing the new ones. There you can see you will put, it'll be bolt, washer, brake line, washer. And then, I had to turn the brake line around to get it to orient properly so that it didn't have extra kinks or anything in the line. So you can hand tighten that bolt first and then torque it to 35 foot-pounds. Next, we're going to bleed the brakes. Since we opened up the brake system, we may have introduced a little bit of air. So you're going to remove this bleeder valve and then crack it open and let it gravity bleed first. So I just popped the hood open. I'm going to come around to the other side of the car, locate the master cylinder reservoir. We're going to open up the lid, and then that way it'll release the vacuum, so the fluid will drain a little faster. But it is DOT3 brake fluid, and you can see I'm just going to break the cap. I've got plenty of fluid in there, but if you don't, you may need to top off the fluid. But here is the bleeder screw, and it is 10 millimeter. I did swap out the wrench, the opened end wrench, for a closed end wrench because it felt like it was slipping off. But here we're just going to crack it open. That way gravity will do the work for us, where it'll push out air bubbles from the system. Like I said, you have your catch pan there because it'll be dripping. But once it's dripped for, I don't know, a few minutes, you can close it back up. And then proper procedure for bleeding your brakes is a two-man job. You'd have one person on the outside here, and then one in the interior vehicle. So guy on the inside would pump 1, 2, 3, hold. The outside guy would open the bleeder screw, let it bleed a little, close it. Then inside guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Outside guy, open, let it bleed, close it. Inside guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, and so on until the brakes are completely firm. You could then refill your DOT brake reservoir. I only used a tiny bit, like less than a cup, so you don't need a lot. But then you would make sure you would place the cap back on the reservoir all the way down, make sure it's solid, make sure everything's tight, tighten that bleeder screw, and then put that plastic cover back on there. All right, you should now be able to reinstall the wheel and the lug nuts, torque them in a star pattern to 100 foot-pounds, and lower the car. Go ahead and take it for a test drive. Pump the brake pedal until it feels firm. You'll then want to check for leaks afterwards. Start off at a low speed with controlled stops, listen for noises, and feel for pulling. And there you go, the brake caliper on your 2009 G6 is replaced. Hey, check out some other videos over here. I've got some Amazon links down in the description for the stuff I used. If you want to help out the channel, support, use those links. I'd really appreciate it. Any other questions or comments, put those below. Thanks.